Bart, you're up.
Okay, thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Well, like Jacques already said, it's evening over here in Holland, so it's getting a little bit dark over here, but I'd like to welcome you, everybody. It's good to see you. And I'd like to guide you a little bit through the stallion selection process in Holland. And a lot of you we already seen in Holland, so you know a little bit about the process, but I'd like to talk to you about the process this year. We talk about the KWPN Stallion Show 2025, jumping and dressage. We're going to talk to you about the selection round in this year. We had 9 days of selection in the first showing in Envelo, and then we have a 4-day stallion show at Den Bosch. That's the big one, the big show, with 2 days of jumping and 2 days of dressage and gelders and harness horses. That's a big event, a big show with a lot of stallions. Also, the older stallions are all presented on the saddle. They need to do this jumping competition or the dressage stallion competition. So it's good to see all the young stallions at one place, I think. And it's also a good meeting place for a lot of breeders, a lot of foreign breeders also. So it's a really big show and important for the KWPN to do this. I'd like you to guide you through the program. We can go to the next sheet if possible. Yeah, we start on Wednesday, January the 29th. We start the day with the second viewing of the jumper stallions. We mainly start normally with the group of the foreign bred stallions on the Wednesday, and then we continue a whole day with the other groups. We try to do the groups a little bit connected to each other with their fathers. So the breeders can see a little bit of offspring of the same sires in each group. That helps them also to give a little bit of better impression how the sire breeds and how consistent he is in breeding. When we finished the first day of jumper viewing, we also had the evening with the International Breeders' Congress. We had it the first time this year. It's very interesting. We had the top breeders discuss about the key issues at this congress. Top breeders from Germany, Belgium, Ireland, France, and there were breeders, very famous breeders who bred United Tots, Emerald from Druitershof, Orient Express, Jubilee, and the Muse. So all the famous breeders from foreign countries were there, we think, and they had an interesting discussion, and especially the discussion went about how to build up a strong performance dam line, how to build it up and how to succeed in that. So that was really interesting. It was led by Dirk Willem Rossi. He's also known for the Horstelex database, and he did a really good job in asking the good questions to them and guide the discussion all the way. So that was very interesting, I think. Then we continue with the Thursday. You have the next sheet. Yeah, the Thursday we had the second ring of the second viewing of the jumper stallions. We also had the championships ring. I'm gonna talk to you later about that. We also have videos of the championships ring, so that's interesting for you to watch, I think. And we also awarded some stallions with a new predicate. We had 2 new Keur stallions awarded with Cape Coral and Bacardi. And I think it's really interesting to see Cape Coral already got awarded with a Keur predicate. He was approved last year. He was approved at the age of 15 years old. He jumped himself 150 classes, and his oldest offspring are really impressive in sports, already competing at 145 level. And at the first crop, he already had 6 mares being presented at the National Mare Show. And he also already has approved stallions at the KWPN with No Mercy and Opus 1 GDV. So he proves himself in breeding, and that's why he got awarded with the predicate Keur. Same for Bacardi, the Corland Canal. He did really well in sports. As a 7-year-old, he already was second place at the World Young Championships, and later he was performing at the WAC in Tryon with Janneke Sprunger. He didn't breed a lot, but his offspring shows themselves really well in sport with distinguished high number of offspring in the sports at a high level. So that also makes him awarded highly in the breeding. and he also is the sire of the approved stallion Glenfiddich. So both stallions were awarded with this predicate because of the good breeding achievements during the years. And then we had one stallion being awarded with the highest predicate. It's preferent. It's a Toulon VDL. It's even higher than the Keur predicate, and then it needs to be even a little bit more proven in everything, especially in the offspring with the stallions. And a Toulon VDL, he is by Toulon, then Calvados. 2 years ago, he got awarded with the Keur predicate, and his offspring is at least 11 years old because that's needed for preferent award giving. As a 3-year-old, he was already reserve champion at the KWPN Stallion Show, and he got awarded with the performance test with 88.5 points, so really high score. And then he jumped into the international classes 150 level. And he has a lot of offspring already now coming up to the 150, 160 level. And 85% of his offspring, of his daughter being presented of the Keuring, is getting the star predicate, is awarded. And he also has already 4 approved stallions at the KWPN, like It's Otto, Insider VDL, Cardes, and Oosterbuur. So that's really impressive with the breeding. He's really upcoming in sports now. We see a lot of offspring coming through. And that's why we like to hand him out the highest predicate for the breeding. It's preferent. So it's really good. And then we also had the presentation of the approved stallions of 2024. They were jumping a course under the saddle in groups of 2 or 3. And Erik van der Vleuten and Wout-Jan van der Schans, the other stallion committee members, they were doing the presentation with them. And they talked them through. And actually, we, like they all said, we were really happy how they performed. They seem like athletic, modern jumper horses. And Erik van der Vleuten also called out that he thinks, he hopes and he believes that some of them will get through to the highest level. It's still a long way, but we like to see them at the highest level for sure. I see a question coming by. Do we answer them now, or what is the best you think?
I think we
This
should
was
do it.
more.
Oh, go ahead,
sorry.
Liz. No, go, Liz.
Well, I see that the question that is in there now is still about the DOC, so I wouldn't worry about it now, Bart. If there's a question really you need to answer right now, we'll just
Interrupt?
let you know. Yeah, interrupt you. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I
okay.
can wait till after your presentation is complete.
Okay, but you can do it also meanwhile if any question, no problem.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we continue. Then we also have the select sale, of course, with the sale of the young stallions. That was successful both for jumping and dressage. We also got the horse of the year 2024. That is Imagine the Cassini Gold. He's an upcoming star with Kim Emmond. And what was really special of this horse, he was actually the reserve for the Olympics in Paris. But unfortunately, Grandorado didn't show, and then she had to do the rounds over there and jump over there, and she had the first 3 rounds all clear at the Olympics. So that's a really big achievement for her, and that's also for the horse Imagine. So that's why he was awarded for the Horse of the Year 2024. And we also have the stallion competition, like I talked about, the jumping competition on Thursday. We can go to the next sheet, I think. Yeah, we have a stallion competition for the young horses. With the winner of the 1m10 class was Drum at the end, the Amante Simbali. And we had a winner of the 120 class was Ofinio, the Ipstar. The winner of the 130, 135 class was New Pleasure. And the winner of the 140 meter class was Stargos Video. They have to show 3 jumping competition. We make a final in Den Bosch. And actually the day winner of the 130 class was Sambucci. But the winner of the total class was New Pleasure. But we see a lot of promising young stallions in that classes, and it's good to see them and show them, and also to see the development during the years. So I think it's as breeders is also important to follow the stallions and see them see them grow in their education and also see them grow in their how to develop. So that's really important for us to show. Then we continue to the Friday. So we finished now with jumping in 2 days. Then we continue with Friday with the dressage. We have the same with the jumpers. We have also the second round viewing of the dressage stallions now. It's being in a free movement. We have also the presentation of the stallions approved in 2024 of last year. We have the final presentation of the stallion competition in dressage. Also, they had awarded 2 Keur stallions, Glamourdale and Glocks Toto. Both competed actually at the Olympics in Paris. It's really impressive. And Glamourdale is the reigning champion with Charlotte Fry. He got third at Olympic freestyle in Paris. And Glamourdale has already a lot of offspring competing well in sport, also at Grand Prix level already, like Kashir and Kiro. And 78% of his daughters being presented for the Keuring is being awarded with the star predicate, and 4 sons already approved. So he's also gets himself proven in his offspring. Same with Glocks Toto. He has already 8 approved KWPN stallions, like Glocks Tommy now. He's already competes at the Grand Prix level, very successful. He scored high 81% in Jumping Amsterdam lately in January. And also 80% of his offspring got awarded star at the Keuring. So really good recognition for both stallions. His offspring both do well in sports and also at the Keuring. So they distinguished themselves with good breeding in the dams and also in the stallion sides. That's impressive. And then we had the Dressage Horse of the Year. This was also awarded to Glamourdale. So we had a big award for that day on Friday. And it's also he's actually the most impressive horse at this moment at Grand Prix level for the KWPN. So that's totally honored and also totally deserved award for this stallion. And then we had a show night with dressage horses also. So it's a full program from 8 to 10, 11 o'clock in the evening. Then we continue with the Saturday. We have the second viewing of the dressage stallions. We have the presentation of the premium stallions. We have the future stars. We have the KWPN PX select sale. And we also present the gelded stallions and the harness stallions. Well, the harness stallions will be talked through with Vigon van Beest later. And we're going to see the gelded stallions. Unfortunately, there was no one selected for the performance test. But they are small numbers, but we think it's important for our breeding to also have them, because they are the horses who can do both dressage, jumping, and a little carriage. So it's a multi-purpose horse. And like the harness horses, they are the show horses for the carriage in trot mainly. But Vigon is going to talk you through all that. So that was the Saturday with the special evening show for the harness horses. I think it's important also to know that we are having to become a approved stallions. We do a lot of investigation, a lot of research on the stallions, also about the dam line. I think the KWPN distinguishes itself by that research. And before the stallions are presented, we also are talking to the other breeding associations, foreign breeding associations, to the dam lines, because we don't have all the information about it, and we like to have all the information about it, especially about the sports and about the Keuring results. What we also do for the second ring for Den Bosch, we have an inspection of all the full book mares, the Register A mares and foreign mares. So we know how the mares are, if there are any problems with the mares, or are they good mares, good quality mares, or is there like an issue with the bone or with the leg or something that we'd like to know. And if there is a severe issue, then we can even say, okay, it's for us not good enough to get a son of that mare approved. So we are also selecting on the dams of the stallions being presented. I think that's quite special. This really distinguishes the KWPN by itself by getting the citizen. But we think it's important because it's all about breeding. Then we also inspect the startbook mares with the confirmation below the 70 points. And we also like to see them. And also we do at when the stallions are at the performance test and they come to the end, and all mares are inspected. So also the predicate mares who already got into the stock book and get the predicate also get a new inspection. And we also make like a dam report, a model report, we call that, for the dam of the stallion. Like we said, it's about breeding, and for us, that's really important. It's not about only the stallion itself, it's also about the mare and the dam line. Okay. Then we talk about a little bit about the perspective, about the numbers. I think it's always good to see that this year we had 167 jumper stallions being presented and 230 dressing stallions. So it's total number of 397. We can see that the numbers are a little bit going down, a little bit declining, but we also believe that the breeders select somewhat more at home before they present the stallion. So there's a bigger selection at home, and we also see that the general quality of the stallions being presented is rising. So that's also good. As you can see, there are a smaller number of jumper stallions compared to the dressage stallions being presented in Holland. But it's it's almost the same as in 2024. So the numbers are almost the same. In the jumpers, we had a few more actually than in 2024. With the dress stallions, there were some less, but okay, it's small quantities, I think. But it's a good number to select from. I see.
Bart, we have a
Kat,
question.
I
Yeah.
see it. It's gone now, but I see that it's about if the dam is deceased. There was a question from Kathy Hickson. Huh? Yeah, then if the dam is deceased, then sometimes the mare is already into the start book. Then we can put that description on. And if we haven't seen the mare at all, then then we try to look a little further in the pedigree also. Sometimes they have a picture of the mare or something. We can have a little information about that. But we also always try to get more information about that for sure. Does that help, Kat? Okay, we continue with the second round viewing. We have 85 stallions, jumping stallions, being presented at the second ring. So they were selected for Den Bosch. It's 51%. And we had 88 dressage stallions. That's 38%. You can see also the numbers of 2024. We selected a little bit more for Den Bosch. We seem to be a little bit more strict now. But okay, it's always important. What we as a jumper stallion committee also think is important when we have how we select. We always look to the pedigrees, and we put them into groups. So we put them into groups from really interesting, and a group of not so interesting pedigree-wise, at least. And when we see a stallion with a really interesting pedigree, and he's correct in the confirmation, and he does a normal performance in jumping and Ermelo, then we like to give him a chance in the Bosch. So we like to give him a chance in second round viewing. But then he needs to perform better than he did in Ermelo to make it through the selection process. But we think it's too early to already say he's not good enough. So we like to give them like a second chance if the pedigree is really good and they are correct in the confirmation and also in the stance of the legs. That's really important for us because it's also about breeding and also about the pedigrees. With a lot of sports in it, makes it interesting to see them. So when we continue to the next sheet, We had 28 jumper stallions being selected for the performance test. That's 35% of the second viewing. So there was a little bit more strict than last year, 2024. Then we have 55%. And now we have, what's really important that 17% of the presented stallions are selected now. And it looks like we are a little bit more strict, but that's also what needed, because this year, for the first time, we have a new policy that we do not accept 3-year-old stallions in the spring test anymore. And we like to give them still a chance in breeding, so they are able to breed for 1 year, accepted for breeding for 1 year, because they cannot do the performance test in spring. If they want to continue breeding at the K, then they have to successfully succeed in a 3-week performance test in the autumn 2025 or in the spring 2026. So, but like I said, they can start breeding when they are now selected for the performance test. That's a little new policy. Like I said, it's due to the reason we do not accept any more 3-year-olds at the spring test, because of we believe it's a little bit early for them. It's quite a tough and intense process they're already going through, so they need a little bit more time. We think that's better for the horses to add a little time to that tight schedule. So we have now, that's why we will also be a little bit more strict on that, because they are able to breed already. So we now, if we have horses, we need to be convinced of the quality of the horses. If they are really good on the saddle, they can always be represented on the saddle again at the performance test. No problem with that. Then we continue with the dressage stallions. We had 35 dressage stallions being selected for the performance test. That's 39% of the second viewing. And in total, that's 15% of the presented dressage stallions are selected for the performance test. So if you see the total progress, we start with big numbers, and then we select from 15 to 17% of the stallions for the performance test, and even they don't even make it all to the full approval. So it's a really strict selection, and I think also what's interesting, we see it already for several years in jumping, that we have really genetic interesting stallions to be approved, but also we are rising in the genetics in dressage, more sports in the dam line, also in dressage, and also from direct dams of the stallions who perform in the sport. That's really important for us. Sports becomes more important overall. Okay, we can have the next sheet. Then we have the predicates of the dams of the stallions. What's interesting about that to me is that the number of elite mares in dressage is much higher than it is for jumping. But on the other hand, in jumping, we see a higher percentage of 14% compared to 6% in the prestatie mare. And that's also what we see in the pedigrees, that the jumping has already more spots in it than the dressage overall. And maybe the dressage is a little bit more focused on the type and also on the curving. It's a little closer to the curlings with star and elite and cur. And jumping is more about the sports, I think. But dressage is also getting closer to that, and we are really gaining stallions with more spots in the pedigree. That's really good, I think. We believe. Then we go to the next sheet. This is the sport level of the dams who compete themselves in sports. Then we see with the jumpers, and same for dressage horses, 42% of them have them who competed in sports. That's actually quite a lot. And we see also from 2 Grand Prix dams and also 2 Grand Prix dams in 3 Grand Prix dams in dressage are some selected. So that's really interesting, we think, to have directly dams in close to the pedigree of the stallion. because we think it's important. And you can have a really good dam line, but the sports needs to be close to us. So not a nephew or an over nephew or something like that. It needs to be close to the pedigree of the stallion itself, as close as we can get. So that's why we like to point this out. Okay, we continue with the next. We have stallions with several sons in the second view, and that's also interesting, I think. And the ones between the arches are the ones who are selected. And then we can see for jumping, only Emerald has 3 selected sons, and the rest is all diverse stallions. So we have, from the 28 stallions, we have 26 different stallions selected. So we have a widespread gene in everything, because we have a big number of stallions. 26 of the 28 are all different stallions. Same for dressage. We have also 26 different stallions of the selected stallions from the 35. So that's a little closer to each other. Where some stallions have even 4 or 3 selected stallions. So that's a little closer in the pedigrees than the jumping is. That's also what we can see at the next sheet. What's interesting about this sheet, I think, one back, sorry. With McLaren, with the young stallion already 4 sons selected. And also with Las Vegas and Toto, of course, but Jovian also has 2. And what's interesting about that, it's also the Scott Tolman, we all know him. He also had 1 selected stallion of Jovian out of Charmeur, out of the dam line Garitas. I think it's really interesting also to see that the American breeder also has a selected stallion in the process going on. But we also see that that's a lot of young stallions have several stallions selected. That's interesting for us to test them, and yeah, we can test them a little bit better from all the stallions. We already know what they give, and we need to be more selective on that. And also, yeah, we have to give young stallions a chance, we think. Okay, we continue with the kinship. So the kinship is the relation between the pedigree. So how close are they to each other? It's actually, and the jumping, we don't look at it this moment because it's not that important. We have widespread genes still, but we have to take care of that. We know that. But the average dressage is average, it's high. But there are also selected stallions in dressage who are have a low kinship, and especially with some trainer blood. That's really interesting for us also. They are doing well in sport, and it's really low kinship for us. So that might be also interesting to work on that. But we have, yeah, we take it into consideration. We also had some jumpers we had a really high kinship, and we didn't select them because we don't. If they are not really that good, then we are a little strict on that because we don't want that high kinship in both dressage and jumping. But for dressage, it's a little bit more common to have. Their average is higher in a kinship than for jumping, for sure. I think Lisa had a question, but I couldn't read it too quickly.
Do you have it now? Can you see it?
I cannot see it, no.
Okay, she asked, are you seeing more higher competition results in the dams of stallions because of the increase of ET breeding versus traditional breeding?
Yeah, we see, I think especially in jumping, we see that. ET is more usual than in jumpers than in dressage, I believe. But it's getting started also in dressage. So if the mare competes, she cannot breed at the moment. So that's why ET and also ICSI is a way to get offspring of the dam. So that has an influence for sure, Lisa. You're right about that, and that's why we also see them direct dams, more direct dams in sports competing and still producing also offspring for sure. But
Thank
we
you, Bart.
also we know that as stallion committee, we also know that not all mares can be into sports. So if a mare has like a really good performance test, like the IBOP or like the EPTM, like we have the mare test in Holland, that's what we also take into consideration, for sure. So we know not every horse can be in sports. Okay, I think we need to continue with the videos of the jump premium stallions, and we start with the jumpers. We start with the first one. We had 4 stallions selected for the championship ring, and we had awarded a champion and a reserve champion. And we start with the premium stallions, so we didn't rank them. So we had a premium stallion number 34, that's Celtic, the Gatinho Calvaro Dama Soy Dor. Yeah, you can start the video.
Le nummer 34, Celtic VDL.
What's
Expert stokmaat van 1,70 meter. Chatinho is de vader.
maybe you have to
Moederstam van
put the sound down of the
Calvaro.
video.
En dan Damaso Dor, 1,60 paard van Pius Zwitser, Sarena.
What's interesting about the stallion, he measures 1,70 m, so he's tall.
Derde moeder is onder meer grootmoeder van een internationaal springpaard Nagier van de Tour de Semi. En overgrootmoeder van meerdere internationale 1,60 paard.
Bart, we can go to YouTube and turn the sound off of the video. Would you like that?
Celtic.
Yeah, maybe that's better, I think, right?
There, is that okay?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
you
good.
can turn it off like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so Gatinho, he's by Gatinho Calvaro. What's interesting about this? Yeah, you can continue the video. Yeah, what's interesting about this stallion that Gatinho himself jumped at 160 level in Mexico. He is from the same dam as the stallions Balou du Rouet and Balou du Reveton. It's this stallion, Celtic VDL, comes from a French dam line, and also the dam herself competed at 160 level. And she jumped with Ben Meyer, and she was also the winner of the Grand Prix of Wellington 2016. So that makes it interesting. So direct Grand Prix mare, this stallion is. When we see him jump, what we think he's very athletic, always with a good technique, always good opening from behind. He's eager for jumping, but he has a lot of overview in jumping. Maybe he could sometimes bend a little bit more in the front leg, but he has a good body use and always opening well from behind. And when you see him conformation-wise, very correctly built, and he's very well muscled, we think. So when you can see technique, maybe the front leg could be a little bit more closer, a little bit more bending, but really scopy, very easy on the oxer, and very good use of the body, we think. And what's really important for us that it's easy for him to canter after the jumps. He continues to canter. So we believe a very complete stallion with good type, very good pedigree, and also careful, athletic, modern horse. Then we will continue with the other premium stallion. He's called Seeger V. He's by O'Neill van Eigerlo. He's now competing under the name Minuteman with Hendrik van Eckerman. And then we see Ed Jordan Heartbreaker. Also, this one is a tall one, 168, so well-sized, well-proportioned stallion. Modern type still. Good length in the body. Good top line also. Like I said, his sire, O'Neill van Eigerlo, or Minuteman, competing now at 160 level with Hendrik van Eckerman. He was third in the Grand Prix of Mexico in 2024. What's also really interesting that this, maybe the dam line is not that much a sport, but the Grand Dam, she did a really good performance test when she scored a 9.5 for the ability as a jumper horse. So that's what we also take into consideration. We see several 140 horses close and 160 horses a little bit further away. But also this stallion had a lot of overview. He's quick off the ground, quick in the takeoff, good reflexes. Maybe a little straight in the hind leg in the canter, but a good balance in the canter. What we like to see, especially in this one, is the very good opening from the haunches. Every time again, he's high in the hip and opens well from behind. And it seems very easy for him, the jumps. When the jump is raised, he gets to start improving the technique and gets to start even to jump better. Always also easy for him to stretch on oxer. And that's really important for us, that the horses are able to jump up and then stretch forward on the jumps. That's for us the athletic scope. That was really good jump. Where he jumps up and then stretches so much easy forward on the oxer. Actually, for 2 years now, we put the distance a little further between the fences. So they need to have an athletic scope in the canter. They need to be adjustable in the canter to make the right distance. And also they need to be powerful and scopy to make the jumps. We think that's important because we can add scope to the Dutch breeding, we think. That's important, and that's also what needed. Then we go to the third jumper stallion. That's the reserve champion. He's called Santiago Eldorado Casimir Purioso. Yeah, I know the dam line pretty well. I bred this one myself. He's 160, 169. His sire is Eldorado from the Sestu, competed at 160 level. The dam line, we see sires of Casimir, then Purioso, Nimbador, Marco Polo. With 4 prestatie mares in the dam line on the row. You can also see this is a dam line of the international jumper Hello Senator, who was second in the Rolex Grand Prix of Geneva and Arena. So good sports in the dam line, like the stallion committee said. I could not judge this one, of course, but the stallion committee described him as a very complete horse, powerful, with a very good scope, and jump both rounds. That's what we also took into consideration, that it had to jump well in Ermelo as well in Den Bosch. So all the premium stallions jumped well in Den Bosch as well as in Ermelo. And what I especially liked in him was the scope, and especially also the overview he has. He's relaxed and can develop a lot of scope from a relaxed canter. What we think is also really important, the stallion committee, is that the jumpers need to do it themselves. So we guide them a little bit through the line, but don't do that much actually. Not a lot of guidance in the line. So they have to do it themselves. They need to be willing, and they need to be smart. They need to be intelligent. That's what we think is really important for the stallions. We like to see intelligent horses. I think there was a question again.
Yes, Kathy just asked, are the jumps moving forward 2 years ago? Do we also have that change in our free jumping at the Currings too?
Well, we at the Stallions show in Ermelo, we have them a little bit more narrow, the jumps, because then they are not that experienced. So we did it also a little bit on the we put it a little wider, but not as much as the second ring. The second ring we put it a little wider because they are more trained, and also with also during the years at the mare shows we put it already a little bit further. Yes, we did that for sure. Also in the IBOB and also in the free jumping lines, because we think we need bigger, long-strided canters, but especially maybe not only big, but also adjustable canters. And also in the courses nowadays, the distances are quite far, and they need to be athletic in the canter to make the distances right. So we changed that a little bit forward, and I think now what I heard from other stud books also, that we have the widest lines of all the stud books, I think. And what we have different of the other stud books is, like you can see this picture already now, the oxer is really straight, and all the other stud books have it a little bit more like a triple bar, the first fence. But we think it's important that they can also jump with a good shoulder, and they can jump up, especially with a good shoulder. Good shoulder for us is really important. You can see this also with the stallion who was the champion. That's a fantastic use of front leg with a good shoulder, and also good lowering of the neck over there. So good shoulder for us is really important nowadays, especially in the nowadays courses. Okay, we continue with the champion. 6 he's by Matthias. Then we see Cantos Concorde from a famous dam line in Holland. 170 also, so we have selected the premium stallions were all 168 to 170, so big framed horses, but still with a lot of blood. Also, this one is a modern type from the young stallion Matthias, who jumps now successfully with Jur Vrieling at 1.45 meters. He's from the famous dam line Dolaris in Holland, where there's a lot of sport horses from, and already 6 approved KWPN stallions from this dam line. Like Kalmar, we have from this dam line Oerendhart, Gullit, Hartats, Kempinski, and Profit. Maybe the dam line, the dams in the dam line are a little small, but this was a well-developed, good size stallion. And what was especially both performances as well as in Ermelo as in Den Bosch, he was very consistent, light-footed, has really good technique with jumping, good up with the withers, quick off the ground, and good technique in the legs for sure. Especially his technique was really good for this horse. Quick reflexes, powerful push-off, and a good OVO. And he just started to jump better when the fence saw race. So that's a good quality, we believe. It's really good jump again, very easy for him. Easy cantering, continuing after the jump. So that made him a very complete horse for a modern horse. Light-footed, smart horse also. So seems very promising for us, and that's what made him the champion. Okay, we have to continue, I think, with the dressage.
Yes, because else we're running late.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So
That's
we continue
okay.
with the first one, Sylvester. He's by Bordeaux. Then we see Chivago Sanremo. What's really interesting about this one, this dam has done a good test with 81 in the IBOB, and she's also the full sister of the international horse who competes at the Prix Saint George level. Like you see, this is also a modern type, uphill build, with also a good walk. That's really important for us, and it's very easy for him to make the transitions. So maybe not a really spectacular horse, but very balanced, with good technique in the legs. Good top line, especially his canter is seen by a lot of balance in the canter. Good technique over there, nice reach in the front leg, good bending in the front leg, nice knee. You can see the walk over here. It's really supple through the body. Active, good reach, good length of stride over there. Also powerful in the walk, really good walk he shows over there. And the Bordeaux are also known that they are better on the saddle than in free movement. So I think it might be an interesting stallion to watch for sure. Then we continue with Simply the Best. Number 330, Ferguson Dreamboy Biotop. Also, his dam is an elite EPTM mare. And she has the sport predicate. DOC she also has. In the dam line, we also see a Grand Prix mare. That's really important, we think. And also the dam, Imagine, was had a well test, really well test with 85.5 in the EPTM, and competes now at the high level, at the Grand Prix level. We see this also long line correct stallion with well muscled top line. He has a nice, well positioned neck, good canter, well balanced canter, powerful canter, always uphill with good suppleness, good technique in trot. You can see his active walk over there, sufficient length of stride, but always clear, good through the body over there, and active use of the hind leg. We continue with Scott Nicholas. He's by 4 homers. Then we see Vitalis Sorrento. What's interesting about this stallion is that he's from the dam Nanive McPhee. She's also an elite mare, and she competes in sport. She was really good at the young horse classes, and the 7-year-old she already competed at sets at light level, and she scored 84 points in the IBOB. Very elegant horse, this one, with a lot of expression. It's very supple in the trot, light-footed in the trot, good use of the front leg. Also good in transitions, you can see that over there, supple through the body all the ways. Active canter, good changes also over there. It's also really important to have an easy change on in the canter. Nice use of the hind leg. Supple through the body all the way. Easy for him to start cantering directly with a good balance in the canter and a good transition there over again to the trot. So that's really important for us to see the good transitions, that they stay in balance in every transition. We can see the walk again. Also active, sufficient length of stride, but active and clear, sufficient reach in the front leg. Supple through the body also in the walk. Then we continue with Scaramouche, the Glocks Toto. Then we see Negro Crexy. So this is kinship-wise a stallion we already have a lot of blood from, we think, but he's very promising, this stallion. You can see he's already powerful from the first steps. And this dam also competes at Prix St. George level. Linsky Morijke, she's also elite. She's IBOB, and she competes, like I said, at Prix St. George. Also a stallion with a lot of expression. Moves uphill. Adjustable in the gait, so it's easy for him to shorten the length of his stride. Supple through the body and is active in the canter with good balance and powerful use of the hind leg. That's also what you expect a little bit from this pedigree, I think, with Glocks Toto and Negro. And you also expect the power this one shows from the hind leg. This stallion is also from the dam line of the International Grand Prix mare Madorijka by Contango. She was ridden by Madeleine Witte Vrees. She competed at International Grand Prix level. So also interesting dam line on this stallion of Glocks Toto. So Scaramouche is also one to watch, I think. And we continue with the 5th stallion, with the total number of 7 premium stallions in dressage. This the 5th one is Saint McLaren. He's by McLaren, the young stallion Winton 007. He's one of the four sons of McLaren who is selected. And he is bred from the dam line of the Grand Prix stallion Grandeur by Jazz. And his dam is a full sister of the international light tour horse Eras Easter. Also, the proof stallion New Orleans is from this dam line. Also, this one is a well-developed stallion, long-lined, well-proportioned, well-muscled in the top line, with nice front, we think, with well-shaped and well-positioned neck. A very good technique in the movement. You can see expressive use of front leg over there in the canter. Powerful also uphill in the canter. He's moving always from the hind leg to the front leg. So he's carrying always every step he takes. You can see the very good use of the hind leg over there. That's what he always showed in every performance, the very good use of the hind leg in trot and canter. The walk is clear again. Maybe you could bend a little bit more in the use of the hind leg. But the walk is clear with sufficient length of stride over there. Then we go to the reserve champion. Actually, the standing committee was really happy to have the championships ring back, to have it returned to the program this year. It gave a lot of atmosphere, and the audience, they liked it. Really enthusiastic, all the audience. So it was a good addition to the program, we believe. So we now have the reserve champion Everglow Gold by Escalade Sir Donald Donchufro. What makes him really interesting that his grand dam is the famous dam Wire Gold. With Isabel Wertz, he competed at the highest level, of course. Also the dam of Total Hope. So a lot of good pedigree in this stallion. A very strongly built horse. He's light-footed. Very well muscled horse. A very easy canter. You can see the good technique over there, good use of the hind leg, stepping under. For him, it's also easy to lengthen and shorten his stride. Well-balanced canter over there, with good reach in the front leg. So this total package made him awarded with a reserve championship. Then we continue with the champion. He's called So Unique. He's by Vivino. Then we see Boston Samba Hit. Very good type, this one. Very expressive in the type. Very modern horse. Light-footed. With a lot of suppleness through the body. But especially his type is really special, we think. Uphill build. Long-lined. Well-proportioned. And very correct in the legs. It's also from a good dam line. His dam scored as 85 already in the test. 85 in the performance test. And she competed at the Prix St. George level. And also the approved stallion Pablo Picasso was already approved from this dam line. As you can see him, is really supple in the movement. Very well balanced over there. Nice use of the neck. Good technique over there. Expressive front leg with carrying use of the hind leg and supple through the body. Very nice. Easy transitions to the canter. Canter is active there. See the walk. Supple walk through the body. Good length of stride over there. Good overstep. Active from behind. and also good reach in front. So also a really good walk over there, supple through the body. So that was the championship drink with all the videos.
Thank you so much, Bart. And I'm sorry for everyone that wanted to do a question and answer, but we really got to cut it short because we're already 10 minutes over schedule now. Sorry, Bart.
No, you're good.
Thank you so much for this really interesting presentation, though.
Yes, it was. Thank
Everybody
you.
loved your stallion.
Thank you. Well, it was an honor doing the presentation. No problem there.